Hi, welcome to Remember This. I'm your host, Denise Boland, and I'm so pleased to have on with me again my good friend, country music singer and songwriter, Kelly Lang. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to see you again.
Oh, gosh, me too. And a lot has been going on since we last spoke. You have a new single?
I have a new single with my husband called Christmas Without You, and it just dropped. And we actually just dropped the video last night, too. So I'm anxious for people to start seeing that today. And let's see, you were talking about wanting to talk about my song, I Think It's Jesus.
Yes.
And I put a whole new album called Dragonfly out, and I've been putting several videos out for that album. And I've been a very busy girl, very
Yes, you
busy.
have. Yes, you have. And please tell those that have not seen our interviews before, you are an 18-year cancer survivor.
Yes, I'm an 18-year, almost 19-year breast cancer survivor.
Praise God.
I just had my latest mammogram, and they were like, "We'll see you in a year." So,
Awesome.
whew, that's
God,
always a
God,
good deal.
God had a lot of work for you to do. You weren't going anywhere.
Oh, good, good, good.
Uh, yeah. So, okay. The song is amazing. I think
Thank
it's
you.
Jesus, and the video, and it's got such a powerful message, and it's something that we could all relate to. It's a common thing when you're listening to a song, or sometimes you can smell something like a
Mhm.
certain food, and it'll bring that memory back, and you wonder, is somebody
Yeah,
sending me a message? And I
yeah.
believe that. I believe
You know,
that.
we're all so united, and the way the world is right now, you wouldn't think that, and my whole purpose for this song was not necessarily to beat somebody over the head with a Bible verse or something like that. It was just to help us pause and go, huh, that we have everything in common, like chills on your arms or a lump in your throat when you hear a song, or perhaps if your loved one has passed, you might see a red bird and think, that's weird, coincidence. And I think we all have these common things, but we just don't talk about them. So I had I guess courage. I guess somebody mentioned the other day to just say it out loud. I think it's a connection with Jesus, and
Yes.
if nothing else, it makes us think about Him one more time than we might not have before.
Back in the day when we get the chills, we'd call them Holy Spirit chills.
I still believe that that is what it is. I think it's our protection and guidance too. I know as a woman, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but if I'm getting ready to get into an elevator and I feel uneasy, I don't. Used to when I was younger, I would just go and think. I follow my gut instinct way more because I do believe that's from the Holy Spirit. I think it's a prompting that we, as women in particular, have to protect us. So it's important to listen to these signs around us.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And I'll be like, "Yep, I hear you, Jesus. I know what you're
Mhm.
trying to tell
I
me."
see you.
Yes, yes, I'm listening. Sometimes I don't listen, but
Well, I'm
I'm
guilty of
trying to
that as
listen more.
well. But at the same time, it's always lessons to learn, and perhaps somebody watching us today will go, "Huh, I didn't think about that." So it's always
Right.
good to talk out loud about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so the last time we spoke, um, before her passing, you did a duet with your dear friend Olivia Newton-John. And thank you for sharing. You gave us a little insight into your relationship with her the last time. Thank you for that. If you can talk about that, and you sang "How Can You Mend a Broken Heart," which was written by another dear friend of yours,
Yeah,
Barry Gibb, and his brother Robin. So
yeah.
yeah, you can talk a little bit about that and what it means to you now.
Just to be connected to them at all is it's really foreign for me to even conceive that they're friends of mine. I've known Barry for 17, 18 years now, and I met Olivia. Although I met her when I was a child, I met her again through him as an adult.
Now,
And
how did you meet her as a child? I did see that picture in the
yeah,
video.
my dad was Conway Twitty's road manager, and Conway was always having connections with people that were coming through Oklahoma that were performing. If any of us wanted to go see a concert, Conway always, made it available for us to do that. And his son also wanted to go to the Olivia Newton-John concert that night. So my dad took us, and we were fortunate enough to go backstage and meet her. And of course, I remember that, I remember her, but she was a huge star at the time, and she was cordial and nice to me, and sweet enough to take pictures. But I cherished that picture,
Of course.
never knowing I would ever get to know her again as an adult. But the bond that we had was not only music. Of course, we have a lot of that in common, but we were both mothers. We were both writers. We were both spiritual minded people. We were both breast cancer survivors. She liked to call them thrivers. So we had a lot of friends in common. The older I became, obviously, the more connected we became because we had so many more things that we talked about. I loved her common sense. She's very mothering. She would call me, how are we feeling? If I was not on, let's say, Instagram for a period of time, she would be on me. Like, why aren't you on Instagram this week? I'm worried about you, and I'd be like, wow, I just took a moment, she was very mothering, very, very mindful of everybody around her and how they were doing. And she never wanted to talk about herself. It was the most loving person I've ever known. And, I haven't really talked about this before, but the day she passed, I have a light over my makeup mirror. You have to touch it for it to come on. It has 3 different levels. You have to go under there and touch it. I didn't touch it. It just came on.
Oh, wow.
And it's been on since she passed. I will not turn it off.
Wow.
And the time that our electricity went out and all the lights went out, it came back on without me touching it. So we just say, good night, Olivia. I just leave it there. I just leave it there. And I think of her every night, every day.
Yeah. So special.
Yeah.
I had a word spoken over me at a prayer meeting, and they prophesied over me. I'm a widow, and they said, your husband is looking down on you right now from the cloud of witnesses. I started crying, and
oh
my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe you can write a song about the cloud of witnesses.
But I hope you feel him. I believe
Yes.
there, I think
it's so true that they are looking down on us at times.
Yeah, it's just like when we go to sleep at night, it's a different realm. That's the realm. It's just right here. He's right here. Different. It doesn't feel as comforting, obviously, on this side. But when we get there, it's going to be incredible, incredible. And he's right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if you saw the movie After Death. It just came out recently.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I encourage you to see it.
Okay.
It's more of like a documentary, but
Okay.
it's by Angel Studios, and it's testimonies of people that have died and came back.
I love things like that.
Oh my gosh.
Angel Studios, is that the same studios that did the
Sound of Freedom?
Yes. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to the premiere of that and got to meet the actor and the producers of that. What a movie, and how incredible in this time of day that they have the courage to be able to stand up for such incredible subject matters.
Oh yes, and it's so needed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one thing that a lot of people didn't realize, and I'm so glad they showed it in the movie, was when they showed the containers. Because when they traffic the children, they do it with those containers because you can't see inside. You don't know what's in there. And I'm so glad they exposed that.
I had no idea. I was reluctant to go. I didn't know what I was going to think about it because I was like, oh, that's depressing,
Yeah.
But we need to see that. Those are hard things to see and talk about. And I was naive and completely, I didn't want to see it. I didn't think it was really, really happening. And it just I couldn't imagine. But wow, what a great movie. They did a great job in doing it tastefully.
They did it tastefully. Absolutely. Yeah. And the children need us, so we need to be aware.
Yeah.
I think we're in a time of exposure now. I think God is just exposing a lot of evil, things that we didn't even realize was going on.
Cleaning out the swamp.
Cleaning, definitely cleaning out the swamp. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the video shows a lot of pictures of you and Olivia together. And when you watch it, when you see yourself, you see the duet with her, and it brings back memories to the day you're in the studio with her. But, how do you feel today watching the video?
It's still hard. I mean, it's almost like it didn't happen. Like it was somebody else, a third person going through that. I remember each and every moment that we've had together. I mean, she was sitting here at this kitchen table, and I can see her here, she wanted chocolate chip cookies and milk, I hear her voice in my head all the time. So that video is it's almost like if you were to die and you saw your whole life in front of you, it's like our whole relationship in front of me. It's very painful, but bittersweet. You know, I'm so grateful I had all those memories, but I have a hard time looking at it.
Yeah. And I would think especially around the holidays too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what is the inspiration behind the song Christmas Without You? It's a beautiful song.
Oh, I just love it. I loved when Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton had that album out many years ago. I think it was '84. She had Hard Candy Christmas and I'll Be Home for Christmas. I mean, just a bunch of classic songs and some new things that she had written. Um, I just always loved it. And I thought if I ever record a Christmas album, I would include a few of those songs. And TG and I recorded a song we wrote a few years ago called Christmas in Mexico. Then last year we recorded White Christmas and had the Oak Ridge Boys join us. So it just it's just becoming a hobby of us just to do a song a year. And this was one we chose. And, you know, eventually we'll get to doing a full Christmas album and hopefully a Christmas tour next year.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
The sweetest gift I know,
The sweetest gift
would be if the new snow would fall on your footsteps on this Christmas Eve.
the most joyous Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
If luck could be with
Welcoming
us,
with us.
would be if Saint Nicholas brought you home to me. Christmas without you, white Christmas and I'm blue. I love you, I miss you, I need you. So sad but so true.
It snuck up on us this year. I've been very, very, very busy doing an album called Dragonfly and doing a lot of videos on that album. So it just snuck up on me, or I would have had time to do this, but I wish I could clone myself. That would be cool.
I'll tell you,
Not want that.
it's so true. I think we all feel like that at one time or another, but it's so true. But I look at your musical career and I look at it more as a ministry because it just blesses so many people.
Well, thank you for saying that. You know, a lot of times, you know, you go into a career like this, that's obviously a public minded career. You know, you're putting yourself out there, putting your face out there. And my initial, when I was a kid, maybe starting out was different than it is now. I used to look at people like Barbara Mandrell or Dolly and go, oh, I want to be like them. I want their career. I want to be entertainer of the year or whatever. You know, it takes a lot to be them. And the older I have gotten, the more I realize that's really a very lofty goal. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful that they have, you know, broken so many glass ceilings for women like myself. But the older I've gotten, the more I'm more into touching the heart. I want to write songs that really can help people and ease their pain. And what holds me at night is really not what you would think fame would. It would be when I get lovely letters from people that say, oh, you helped me through a terrible transition with my parent passing, or what a comfort your song was. That's my payment. You know, it is a ministry to me. It's not necessarily for ego rights in that. That's a nice payoff as well, but that's not my motivation anymore.
Yeah. You know, somebody wrote a song, I'm not sure who it is, but it's I'd rather be a star on God's stage.
Yeah, I like that.
World stage, you know, and it's so true. It's so true. You had a solo performance at the Grand Ole Opry.
Can you believe that?
I love it. I love it. Congratulations.
Well, I've been on that. Thank you. I've been on that stage before, singing with Barry Gibb. As a matter of fact, I sang "Islands in the Stream" with him. I sang a couple of times with TG. We did some duets on there, but it's really different doing it yourself when you walk out there by yourself. And that's the night that the Opry celebrated and raised money and awareness for breast cancer. So it was really extra special for me. And they wanted me to go out and talk about my experience with breast cancer. They wanted me to sing 2 of my songs that I've written. So that's really rare that they allow that much time. So it was kind of the perfect storm where I had people that were a captive audience that wanted to hear my story. And I was really moved and humbled. I got a standing ovation after my performance, and I thought everybody did. I really did. I thought they were just being polite,
Yeah.
and I
You
found out
deserved
later
it.
that that's not true. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it's a perfect storm. If it wasn't the breast cancer thing, and it wasn't me wearing shiny pink on a hot pink night, I
You
don't know
looked
if all of that
amazing.
would have happened, but it was fun, and I will forever cherish it.
Yeah. You looked amazing. Your
Thank
songs were
you.
just so, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And I do want to bring you and TT Shepherd on sometime, maybe after the holidays, because I know he has a lot of great stories. But I wanted to ask you, speaking of the holidays, what is it like in your home during the holidays?
Cluttered. I'm looking around. Oh, I've got probably, what's today? Tuesday. I've got probably 30 of my family members and friends, lots of friends and spares and things that could just pop
Right.
in, coming over. And I've got, there's TG walking through the house now. I've
Oh,
got several casseroles that I'll make, and I'll pick up some turkey and all that kind of thing. But my family, thank goodness, brings food too. So I'm not completely responsible for it, but it overwhelms me because there's so many, and I'm not used to having that many people here. And I've been so busy, I hadn't had time to really get the house in order. So I've got, I think I've got 6 interviews today, and I think I've got 7 tomorrow,
wow.
and and then Happy Thanksgiving.
And then happy Thanksgiving.
So Thanksgiving Day is kind of be kind of a quiet day for T and I. Will sleep in, and we'll probably go to the movies. We tend to go to movies after everybody leaves, and we're good to
Nice.
go in the afternoon. That's our tradition.
That's great. And Christmas, do you have a lot of people over for Christmas as well?
Not necessarily. We end up going to my brother's house for Christmas on a different night, not necessarily Christmas. But my kids always come home, and my little one always wants, even though she's married, she's very traditional. She wants to stay at her mama's house so she can have her Santa Claus deliver her stocking on Christmas morning. We always open a gift on Christmas Eve night, and so she's already picking out what that gift is that she wants to open. She's kind of manipulative in that way, right? So, but it's fun. I'm glad that the traditions that I began for them, that they still find valuable, and I love that they want to continue those for their own family. So it's really cute.
Yes. And that's what I would hope for too, that my daughters would carry on this tradition, because
Yeah,
I think it's so important.
it
Um,
is. It really is. But we've been traveling so much that I told TG, I said, I love to travel. I love to go, and we were hoping to go just like on a romantic honeymoon kind of vacation
Aw.
in between Christmas and New Year. But I think our gift is not to go anywhere. Traveling is such a nightmare anymore, and so
It's
I think
so
we're going to
true.
vacation and just kind of hang around the house because we've been going and going and going. It's time to pump the brakes for a sec.
Yeah. And I think, I was talking to a friend of mine, it was his birthday, and I said, "So what did you guys do?" It was yesterday. We stayed home. We ordered in, we watched a movie. I was like, you know what? I think that's the best. I,
Sometimes
I
nothing
love
is
that.
everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for taking the time. I just want you to know that you're such a blessing. I really appreciate your music, and I appreciate you. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you and the time that you've given me today. And happy Thanksgiving, Merry
Thank you.
Christmas, all of the good feels. And I just hope that you have a blessed week. And I hope your little dog feels better.
Aw, thank you. She's
Yeah.
feeling better. She's running around, so I know she's better.
Okay. All
No,
right. Well,
thank you.
thanks again. Have a good one.
God bless you and your family. You
You
too.
too. Bye
Bye,
bye.
sweetheart. Bye. Well, thank you for watching. Please like and share the video. Kelly Lang is such an inspiration to me and so many, and especially around the holiday season. If you know someone that's feeling down, or if you're feeling a little down, maybe, a loved one is not with us this holiday season. Listen to her music. It is very, very uplifting, and I know it will bless you. Go to kellylang.net and you can follow her. And she's also on YouTube. Give her a listen. You'll definitely enjoy her music, and it'll definitely touch your heart.